What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Fight Like Hell podcast. This is episode 34. We're coming to you on a Sunday, October 3rd, 2021. We have a very special guest. He's actually a return guest, and we get to see his beautiful face. Austin, why don't you do the introduction?
Yeah, so we got the very special Mr. Redbeard over there himself, Michael Brewer, a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing, Mike?
Thanks for having me back. I'm doing great.
Of course.
Doing great.
We're excited to have you on a second time. And also, for those of you that are watching on video, if you want to just move to your left a little bit, let's show them what's behind you.
Other way.
That's
that flag.
There you go. Yeah. Save our six. Save our six. There we go. And a Fight Like Hell shirt. Appropriate for the podcast.
And the
so
Sabres.
How you been, man? And the Sabres, I saw that, but they're probably doing terrible because they usually.
They're going to be horrible this year. I'm doing well. Just getting, still getting adjusted to Wyoming. The last time we talked, I was, preparing to move, and now I've moved here. Moved here in June. Moved into my own house in the end of July, and just waiting for the household goods and the family to get here now. So hopefully the end of this month.
Okay,
dude, that's actually pretty quick. That's awesome.
We had a change in plans as far as moving. We were looking into movers, and we got a quote for $17,000 to move our stuff. We checked with a couple of companies, and it was a ridiculous price. So, the last time I made like a major move, like the Army moved me around, so like I can't imagine like how much it costs then. But
just like Rob, Rob got moved, and I don't even want to know how much that cost for.
Yeah, unfortunately, my new job didn't pay for moving expenses, so I'm taking a week at the end of October, flying back to PA, rented a couple of U-Hauls, and we'll be trucking it out here.
That's gonna suck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving is never fun.
You guys are welcome to come with me if you want to go on a road trip.
I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, we're gonna pass on that. It'll be $18,000 if you want to take us out there.
You take an installment plan.
Yeah, one installment.
I want to say that Park Services quoted my move just like with movers and getting my stuff to Arizona around like 15 to 17,000. Like it was absurd. And then on top of that, they're paying me per diem right now. They're paying for my apartment that I'm living in. They're paying me like a 30-day payout for my move. Like it's crazy. Like they're gonna end up spending about close to $23,000 or $25,000 to get me out here and moved, and some of that actually goes directly to me, which is pretty sweet because this is my third federal job, and this is the first agency that actually did like a full paid move.
Wow,
pretty happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great benefit.
Yeah, so so I guess we should just get into this, and let's start off with what we typically talk about. Oh wait, no. We actually got to cover something first before that.
We have one thing that's super important that just ended for us.
Yeah, you can cover it, Austin. Go ahead.
So so for those of you who somehow don't know, that we were doing the 22 challenge. All of September we did 22 challenge, which was 22 pounds for 22 miles, and we were raising money for Rescue 22 Foundation. And between the shirts and the donations, we reached our goal of over $1,000 raised.
Nice. Yep. Awesome.
So, and Mike, you actually supported that a lot too. You were a big pusher of our donation thing that we had set up for like Instagram. So thank you.
Yeah. I was trying to get that get that match that goal.
Oh, yeah, I mean, so it was definitely appreciated. Like I said, when me and Rob first, decided to do something, we thought maybe like 5 people would do it.
10
include
people, and we were going to
yeah,
do a 5K. It was going to be
yeah,
something
yeah.
little.
That was Rob's original plan was, oh, let's just do a 5K or something. And then like the day before, I was like, no, let's do this. And like
Yeah, that's
I
a
said,
great idea.
we thought maybe like 5 people would do it, and we had I think like 30 or more people do it.
Well, we
And
had what, 63 shirts sold, and most people that bought a
I think we're
shirt
on that.
like actually did it.
Yeah, so and like I mean, or like Bree K9 did 50 miles, in the month of September.
Yeah, it was
Which
pretty
is
cool. And then
crazy.
we had idiots out there getting fights with their ex-girlfriend and decide to do like 22 miles in a
All in one
day.
day. You definitely felt that the next day, didn't you, Rob?
Yeah, I was pretty sore for a couple of days, but no regrets, I guess, because got it done. Like, I think I was done with the challenge like day 2 or day 3 of the challenge.
Right.
But it was cool, and like all jokes aside, I think it was incredible how many people got involved, and it was honestly fun. Like at the end of the day, to go into like SOS DMs and see that we were tagged like 10, 20 times and
Well,
things.
yeah.
People
At
put stuff on their story.
Yeah, at one point we had like 30 stories, in on our feed on Instagram. And where I was like, I don't like posting all these. I don't like my story to look like this. Because we had everybody tagging us.
Well, so all right, let me explain what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
there.
it wasn't for like bad or
So
anything.
it wasn't a bad thing. It's just when we had 30 people tag us, different people, sometimes they were telling like a minute long story, which means like 4 videos on top of that. So I was telling Austin, I'm like I love that everyone's doing this, but like if I go to someone's page and there's hundreds of stories on it, I'm usually just pressing my way through it, or I get off of it because it's too much. So what Austin and I decided to do was we take like 1 or 2 from a person, and then we'd post that, and then we'd post someone else's because we wanted to give someone else a fair chance to get seen or get followed, especially if it fell on like a Friday when we're doing follow Fridays. We're trying to like get some of our family from either Vigilant and Humble or Save Our Six or even Fight Like Hell to go out and follow these amazing people because they're out there like getting after it and supporting the hell out of us, supporting the hell out of Rescue 22. IDF Apparel was a huge part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't want to accidentally like misspeak and like forget someone, but there were so many people involved, and it was humbling and just incredible that many people wanted to help create awareness, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was surprised at how many people did it. This is great. Like, this is awesome. How many people, supported it.
Yeah, like I said, next year we're going to have to do it even bigger and better.
Yeah, we're going to do this every year. So anyone that's listening now and didn't participate or wants to participate again or talk about it. And we're also probably going to do a couple other like virtual events. We're thinking about doing something probably in November or December. Just because we really like the fact that we're actually able to give back on this. I mean, to level with everyone, especially because of when we started it, we didn't profit on these shirts really because we started selling the shirts the day that we were doing like a 20 or 30% off sale. And I think we sold like a quarter or like half the shirts. So like, I'm like looking at the numbers and I'm like, oh shit, like should we take down the sale? And like Austin's like, no, that'd be super fucked up to take down the sale. Right, like, okay, well, we didn't make any money on that shirt. I guess like we're just gonna give money to like like $10 came out of every single shirt. So it's just it's cool. And the fact that we had on Eric and got to talk to him and learn that his company's 100% a
For profit.
God,
I'm not for profit, but for nonprofit.
nonprofit. Yeah, and no one's taking salaries. They all have real jobs outside of the foundation that they have an income for. Because that was one of the things that was confusing me. And he brought it up on the podcast that like he runs a training business and Coastline Canines or
Yeah.
Canine Coastline. I
Coastline
think I said it
Canine.
right. Yeah, and they have multiple places. So it was a cool program, and then it was incredible how like some of the posts, how many times they got shared. They got shared by huge accounts. They got shared by small accounts. They got shared by anyone and everyone. Like
Yeah.
Austin's initial post, I think within the first 24 hours had well over like 100 shares, was in like the 500s of likes. It was crazy. Like we had no idea it would be that big. We met so many cool new people.
Yeah, no, we definitely met a lot of really cool people. And like I said, next year I think is going to be really fun because I think it's going to just blow up even more next year.
Yeah, that 100%, that 100% nonprofit was huge for me. Just seeing that or hearing about that on that podcast, like amazing. Like everything is going towards the veteran.
Yeah.
Just like amazing.
Yeah, I mean, because we've heard of like other, like we talked about in that one, we've heard about other companies like you say like Wounded Warrior, who's they're a nonprofit, but then you hear about all these stories about where all the money really went to, and you never really know where your money's going when you donate to a huge organization, whereas like a small organization like them. You can actually reach out to somebody and ask them, and they'll be like, "This is where your money went. This, and this, and this." Compared to like, "Oh, I don't know where it went."
Yeah, and honestly, like I'm just gonna say, I have beef with Wounded Warrior Project. I'm alumni through Launchstool, like their TBI center. I get all their emails. They check on me. They gave me a cool little package and shit. They gave me clothes. They would send me stuff every once in a while. But when we reached out to them when I was in Alaska trying to do fundraising for our Wounded Warrior team up there, they refused to be a part of the program. They've refused every single hockey organization that's reached out to them. That's why I say it's Wounded Warrior Hockey, but the reality is everyone calls it Warrior Hockey because the Wounded Warrior Project has zero to do with any of those hockey programs, which in my opinion, it's pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So I guess we kind of covered the 22 challenge. We should probably get into some weekend adventures, and we're going to start off with Austin. What did you do?
Nothing, like usual.
Okay.
I've been busy focusing on business stuff. What'd you do the past 2 weeks, Rob?
Now let's talk about Brewer first. Let's see what you did.
Okay.
Then we'll get into my shit because my shit's really long.
You did a lot of stuff.
So this weekend, let's see. Yesterday, I painted my deck, which is a big task. It's 54 feet by 18 feet deck, and so it took some time. Kind of bought some more stuff for the house this morning. Did a little virtual tailgating, which I do every week with some friends, from back home, and they're scattered throughout the country, and one's in China, but that's a lot of fun every week, just to reconnect with friends like that. We all love football, so we usually do it before like the Bills game. And then other than that, just watching football all day today.
Yeah.
How did the Bills do?
They won 40-0.
Jeez.
Jesus, go Josh Allen.
That's a huge score.
Yeah, it was against Houston. Houston's not that great, so yeah.
Yeah, I have like one or two players from that team. I want to say that one of them was like a Vikings wide receiver that just went over there. I can't think of his name. Can't think of his name right now. Diggs. Yeah, I have Diggs on one of my teams, and I was excited to pick him up like late in the draft. Okay, so it sounds like your Saturday consisted of painting. Your Sunday was virtual football and actually getting to watch, your Bills do well. And now you're representing your Sabres, which are probably not going to do good this season. Let's just be honest.
They're not. They're looking horrible. Maybe even worse than last year because Eichel's not going to play at all. So.
Oh, geez. Eichel's the goalie?
No, he's a center. He came out the same year as he was the number 2 pick right after the guy from Edmonton Oilers. I can't think of his name at the moment, but
David McConnor.
Yeah, he was like the second right after him, and great player, great captain. They took his captain away from him this year, and they put him on IR. Couldn't pass physical, so they just don't want him playing for him anymore. They try to trade him. It's sad. He's a great player. He was always good for Buffalo. They're kind of, I don't know, rebuild.
Yeah, it sucks when stuff like that happens, and the NHL will make it completely obvious too. Like I was pissed off with the whole Fleury thing, Andre Fleury. Yeah, that was kind of annoying with what they did. Like from his perspective, he found out through Twitter that he was traded and didn't even know that he was going to the Blackhawks.
That's super fucked up.
Yeah.
And like everyone, Vegas is only, I think this is their 5th season. So like they don't have like a huge background, but it's just been consistently them going back between him and Leonard in the playoffs, which, sometimes I thought it was good to put him in, but also sometimes I feel like you should go with your starting goalie, who's supposedly your franchise goalie. And, Vegas didn't lose those games because of goaltending. Like, in my opinion, I felt like the goaltending was good from both goalies, and then to just get rid of them. I don't even know who they picked up. I was watching on Instagram, like one of their goalies warm up, but I don't know who it is. We'll see. But I'll be able to go to Vegas games. They're only like 4 hours away from me.
Yeah.
One of these times you'll go there.
You're on the south side of the canyon.
Yeah. Yes. I'm on the south
side.
Rim.
So yeah, definitely not far at all.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Little.
Before we get into that, Rob, let's go over your weekend adventures. What did you do the past 2 weekends?
So, as you guys and gals know, we did not do the podcast last week. This is the first time I think we've ever skipped a week of not doing the podcast. Yeah. Our last podcast was when you and I were together in Montana, and a lot of things have happened since then. So I was in Wyoming for the following week, and then that last weekend, Sunday, so literally a week from today, I started my drive down to Rifle, Colorado, and then from Rifle, Colorado, went to I can't think of it.
Monument Valley.
Thank you. Monument Valley, which was epic, insane, really pretty. It was really weird because it's in Arizona, but the hotel I was staying at was on the border of Utah and Arizona. And then I want to say like the majority of my drive down from there, even like being over the state line, the time zone wouldn't change. Like it was still registering as like Wyoming time, because Arizona's fucking weird and they don't change times. But the Northeast is on like Wyoming time, which was really fucking weird. Like I don't understand that, because I was definitely in Arizona, and at a certain point, Austin and I were like talking on the phone on my road trip, and I'm like, "What time is it there?" He's like, "It's 3:30." Or no, you were telling me what time it was on California time or Pacific time, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm still an hour ahead of you. Like, how is that possible? Like, I've been in Arizona for the last like 2.5 hours driving." So, but it was a really cool trip. Little ALY, who's behind me in her cozy cave, had a lot of fun. We got to get out, see a bunch of things, take tons of pictures, tons of videos. I did not really run Saber 6 for the past couple weeks. It was Austin and Sam that was replying to a lot of DMs and reposting shit. So thank you to you guys and gals.
Always just babysitting
as
Rob.
Yeah. Plus, like, all right. So since we do talk about mental health, I think it's important to not. I think it's important for our listeners to understand a couple things.
Mhm.
My move down was emotional and hard. I knew that I was making a really good career decision, but on the way down, like I was consistently calling Austin, I was consistently calling my parents, and I was reaching out to some other close friends of mine because I was having like panic attacks and just freaking out. Like I just left everything I knew in Wyoming. My girlfriend had dumped me like a few weeks before that, so that was fresh on my mind. And I was concerned about ALY, who's sleeping behind me, because it was going to be a big adjustment for her. She was going to go back to working in an office where I'm working 10-hour days. And how is she going to interact with my coworkers? How is she going to interact with other dogs? So like the trip down was beautiful, and out here has been beautiful, and it's been incredible. And if anyone's following stories on my personal page, you guys have seen it, but you haven't seen it. Like Mike, you were saying something earlier or today. I think you're like, that's so beautiful. I'm like, dude, you gotta come see it. Like it's so much more in person. Like it's just the camera doesn't capture what you can actually see. It's crazy out here. So
yeah, I've been there a couple of times, but your pictures were amazing.
Yeah. Part of it though too is the phone technology has come up. Like being able to record in high definition at a wide angle is a game changer. Like the quality, and I also noticed that video does automatic stabilization because like I'll toggle sometimes between videos on Snapchat. First of all, the quality is terrible in comparison. And second off, like the phone will bounce around where it kind of looks like it glides through things I'm actually doing. And I can promise you, when I'm going down a mountain or going through shit, the phone is like this and shit. So it's incredible. And Austin, when we were together in Glacier, like your phone, like we came to the conclusion that your phone was taking way better portrait pictures. I mean, like the post that you did on Save Our 6 Day was from your camera. We did probably 99.9% of all the photos that were taken on that trip were done off of your camera. So
yeah, we took like 400 photos while we were there. So
yeah, it's absurd. There's so many, and I was the perfect little model because I was throwing on stuff for Vigilant and Humble, Save Our 6, Fight Like Hell, just because like we felt like we should get some photos in. That way we have content, and it was Austin and I's first time together. But yeah, so the move down was exciting, emotional, scary. If you guys, I almost want to like. I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but like part of me wants to read the thing that I wrote just to give an idea of what I was like mentally going through. All right. Well, how about this, Mike? I want to get off talking for a sec because I've been blabbing. Mike, let's talk a little bit about you while I find the post. And what I want to preface this with is this is Mike's second time on the podcast. If you want a very detailed version of his backstory, and why we had him on the podcast before, and he's definitely Fight Like Hell material, please go listen to episode 17. Is that correct, Austin?
Correct.
Yeah, because Mike went into great details on his background, and tell us a little bit about yourself though, if someone's brand new to the podcast and didn't hear the episode and kind of wants to get an idea of what they could hear.
Yeah, so the episode I was on, I kind of talked about my career in the Army, deployment to Iraq. And when I got out of the Army, just getting into the nursing profession and became a registered nurse, and then continued to go through school, got my bachelor's and then master's. And now I'm a nurse practitioner with specialty in psychiatry. So I made the move from Pennsylvania to Wyoming to take a job with the VA, which is something I've always wanted to do, give back to veterans, give back to the people I served with. And so far it's been excellent. Like I just love working with the veterans, in mental health and just reaching out. I also work with the homeless population too in northern Colorado and southern Wyoming. So I'm out on the road half the week, going to where the homeless veterans are, whether they be in a shelter or they're in an apartment through, HUD bash or on the streets. So just great to be able to reach out to them, to get them the care that they need, especially with the homeless. It's hard for them to get to a VA. So it's been really great so far. Wyoming's great. I love the weather here. I love the fact that it's sunny on almost every single day. That's huge for mental health,
Oh yeah.
I've never lived in the Pacific Northwest, but I have a feeling it's probably cloudy a lot, from what, it rains so much up there. So
it's
to
not
me,
too bad
like,
over here.
Yeah. But to me, like, that's something important for me, for my own mental health, is the atmosphere, the environment means a lot to me, like it really affects me. So being in a sunny state is very helpful, even though it gets really freezing here and cold. I did the same in Pennsylvania, so I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah, so Wyoming gets, I think, close to like 300 to 315 days of sunlight annually, which is incredible, because even during the winter time, which you're getting ready to experience out there, it gets cold, it gets windy, it's kind of shitty, but there's a lot of days that's just sunny as fuck, and like that, you're getting natural vitamin D from the sun, which is great for mental health, and it helps raise.
Absolutely.
Correct me if I'm wrong in this, since you're like a doctor and shit, but like, doesn't that like increase your like serotonin? Or
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah, definitely. Like it. You need those essential vitamins to properly function, to boost all those neurons, norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, most likely it probably affects dopamine more than anything else.
Okay. So I have a personal question for you, only if you're inclined to answer it, and maybe it might help some of our users. Actually, users. I'm thinking fucking IT. Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot believe
I was thinking more like drugs, but okay.
listeners, not users. Oh my god. I just brought work onto the podcast. I'm working if I'm actually talking about work on the podcast.
How many users do we have on here, Rob? I'm gonna need you to create some new passwords.
No. So what I was gonna say is, Mike, what have you been doing for resilience towards getting your family out here? Like, I know that you had a son visit. I know it's been challenging, probably a little bit emotionally for you being without your wife this long. So like, if there's someone out there that's listening right now that might be on a deployment, or maybe they're separated from their family because of work-related incidents, what have you been doing to like get past it? And what's some advice that you can give to some of our listeners?
Yeah, so it's really easy to get kind of down, when you don't hear from your wife or your kids, for a couple of days. And it's because they're busy. Like, they have lives too. Like, my wife she's a registered nurse, and she has been working a lot of hours dealing with, COVID, working a lot of overtime. She can never get out of work on time. So, and then there's also like a 2 hour, difference in time. So like, being able to connect on a daily basis isn't always going to happen. But so it's real easy to kind of, when you're isolated, to kind of get down, and then you start like binge watching Netflix, and that's not good for your mental health either. But it happens.
We're going to talk about that.
No,
it's okay.
I've definitely done that. But I think the most important thing is to reach out, like to talk to someone face to face, or by phone if you have to. But like the thing with the virtual tailgating I do with my friends, like it's a great time. Like we're not together, but we see each other on on video, and we talk about old times, and just reaching out to someone every day is very important. Old friends, friends you haven't talked to in years. I still keep in touch with guys I served with 20 years ago, which is amazing. But I think that's the most important part is, reaching out, talking to people, not texting. Like that doesn't count. You have to hear their voice, and even better if you can see them in person or by video. Definitely focus on what you're eating. Being alone, it's really easy to eat out every night, but you can't do that.
Or a delivery.
Yeah, you can't do that. So I still have my Butcher Box subscription coming here, so I'm eating some really good protein, and make sure you get the veggies in. It's really important. Exercise, getting out walking at least for 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes every day. That helps. And
like you said, getting out and getting that sunshine.
Getting that sunshine, definitely. So the 22 miles, 22 pounds definitely helped with that. Getting out every single day. I didn't go very far each time, but at least a half-hour walk with it. And that definitely helped. And then sleep. It's really really easy when you're down or isolated to not sleep well. So you just got to be persistent and discipline yourself to getting that sleep. All those are good ingredients for resilience. Not easy to do, especially alone, but it's doable. You can do it. You just got to fight like hell, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing, like I wanted to add that you did during this time frame. You reached out to me a couple times, and you FaceTimed with me one time. You invited me to come down and stay with you. You invited Allie, and
he picked me instead, but it's okay.
No, I know. I picked a location. Like
okay.
It was
that location definitely topped mine. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Plus, like the last time I was down there with her, and I just it was a lot, and I just think it's incredible when I do this a lot with Save Our Six, and all three of us have our own personal lives that we battle things that bother us, and you're out there by yourself getting by and being an advocate for both of our companies, being an advocate for the veteran community directly. And there's been several times where you've reached out to me and wanted to see if I was doing okay. And that means a lot, because you're obviously going through your own shit and struggling, and you're concerned about the people that you care about, which obviously is, me, Austin, our companies, and just, it means a lot. So I want to thank you publicly. I appreciate you, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, we've become friends, and I think that's just what you do.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys are listening on audio, so you don't see me crying.
I mean, emotional Rob over there. Jeez.
I think it's every 3 episodes I'm crying about something.
I mean, it's because you're drinking.
I am drinking, actually. I am drinking a new scotch from. How did we pronounce it again, Austin?
You say it, Rob. Go ahead. Try to pronounce it, Rob.
Balvenie?
Yeah.
Balvenie? Balvenie. Yeah. So this one is a sweet toasted American oak, and it's a single malt Scotch whiskey, and it's quite delightful. So
yeah, talk about that, Rob. How's the alcohol prices over there?
So, as people know that listen to this podcast, I occasionally enjoy Angel's Envy, which is a $60, $70 bottle of whiskey, which in my opinion is not that high priced considering it's excellent whiskey that you can like sip. When I went around Flagstaff on Friday. Oh yeah, so I don't have like any real grocery stores or real stores here. The nearest like city to me is an hour and a half away.
Well,
We
yeah, you
have
live
stuff to
in the
get us
Grand
by.
Canyon.
I do live in the Grand Canyon. Yes. Well, yes. So I went to Flagstaff with Allie the other day and did some shopping and supplying up. And one of the things my coworkers talked about were like we should get some whiskey or some scotch and drink it on Saturday for your welcome to the team party. So the first store I went into, Angel's Envy was like $70. I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous. That's expensive as hell. I'm not buying this shit. Go on with my day. And throughout the day, like I was stopping at gas stations, I was stopping at other places, and occasionally, like you'd see a liquor store. So I'd pull over and see if they had it. Most places didn't have Angel's Envy or the Belvini, whatever the fuck it's called. So I would just move on to the next. And then finally, like it's getting late. Like the sun's already down. I need to consider going back. It's like 8 o'clock at night. I still have an hour and a half drive home. And there's tons and tons of fucking elk and deer out here. So I didn't want to hit anything on the way back. So the last place I go is rated as the highest rated liquor store in all Flagstaff. So I'm like, this is a no-brainer. Go there. They wanted $113 for Angel's Envy. And I laughed at the girl. And she's like, what's funny? I'm like, you guys are overcharging by like $40 or $50. This is absurd. And she's like, but that's our alcohol price and we have like taxes and stuff. And I was like, no, I was at a store earlier and it was definitely like $70. You're just ripping people off. And she's like, do you want anything then? Like she thought I was being rude and wasn't going to buy anything. And I'm like, no, I'm just saying like this is insanely overpriced. Like I'm not going to buy this, but you know, can I look at those scotches? And then she brought down my favorite one by the company name that I can't say. That's casted in a Caribbean rum barrel. They wanted $109 for that, and it's normally like 70 or 80 bucks. And I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I'm like, all right, what's the prices on the other three? And the one that I hadn't tried yet, which is this one, was $83. I'm like, okay, that's probably like $10, $20 over cost. I can't come back empty handed. Fuck it. Like, I'm just, yeah, give me that. And she's like, I thought you were going to buy anything. I thought you were just being rude. I'm like, no, I was flabbergasted at the fucking prices you told me. I'm like, I came in here intending to buy whiskey or scotch, but I was appalled by the fact that you guys are charging that much. So, yeah, so fuck that place. I'll never go back and buy from them. But
I wonder if I can ship alcohol to Arizona. I know. So
yeah,
I know I couldn't ship it to Wyoming. I looked it up once.
I'm looking up the cost of Angel's Envy.
Well,
right now.
I know I can get Angel's Envy in California for like $45.
$44.
Yeah.
Right here, 79.
Yeah, I can get it for like $40 in California.
Wow.
Yeah. So when she told me it was like $100 and something dollars, I'm like, you're fucking high. Like that's insane.
They have a
And,
mule
like,
tax.
Right?
Yeah. Allie met some mules today. It freaked her to fuck out a little bit. Like she met some mules. We did 1.5 miles down into the canyon, which is not even close to the bottom. It's literally like less than an eighth of the way, I think, or something like that. I think whatever the math is. So it's 6 miles into the canyon to the bottom, and then you can come back, and it turns out to be like a 13-mile hike. Most people do it as like an overnight or go down there for a couple days and then come back. Whereas Allie and I just wanted to get out, test it out a little bit. We went down 1.5 miles to the first ranger station and went back. So it was cool. But yeah, we saw mules, and Allie kind of was like freaked the fuck out by them. So yeah, I also got an argument with a lady about dogs on the trail. So here's the thing. anyone that's listening to this, when you address someone who has a service dog, you're entitled to ask that person, is that a service dog? And if you're a place of business, you can ask what type of services can it perform. Beyond that, you're not supposed to really say anything else that's personal. You're not supposed to be judgmental about it, and you are supposed to, unless it's an endangerment to the animal, like there are places that have a zero pet policy. Like there's canyons and stuff that like no dog can do. Or like I tried to take Allie on a Ferris wheel one time, and they're like, "Yeah, zero pets allowed on the Ferris wheel," which makes sense. But if you're a place of business or you're just some fucking dipshit hiker who doesn't work at the parks, don't fucking come up to me and tell me that my dog's not allowed there. Because I got in an argument with a lady today going probably 5 minutes into the hike. Some lady, like I could hear in the background, like way behind me, no dogs allowed in the parks. So I yelled back, correction, no pets allowed in the park. This is a service dog. No dogs, even service dogs aren't allowed. I'm like, well, you're incorrect. So this lady like hightails it to catch up to me and starts telling me that I can't have her here and that she's going to report me. Little did she know a couple things. Before I left on my hike, one of my neighbors who's behind me, behind this wall right here, is a park ranger. And she suggested that before I went to call dispatch out here and give them a heads up that I was going to be on the trail, because the trail that I was on is the most popular trail in the whole entire park. And no dogs are allowed, but service dogs are allowed and mules are allowed. Those are the only two animals that are allowed on the trail. So she's like, why don't you give them a heads up? Because I can guarantee you people are going to give you shit, or they're probably going to call it in on you and it'll just make your life easier. So when this lady's arguing with me, I'm like, honestly, like I looked at my phone. I'm like, we have service right now. Why don't you call? Call me in. Call me in, because I can guarantee you if you call them, they're going to tell you a couple of things. They're going to tell you that I already called them to double check that she's allowed on this trail. And two, that I actually work for the park services. So you're like really bothering me. And she's like, my husband is blah, blah, blah. And he's best friends with this park ranger. And we're going to report you. And I'm like, take my name. My name's Robert, blah, blah, blah. Because I don't like saying my last name on the podcast. And I'm like, yeah, asshole. Robert asshole. I'm like, report us. I do it. Like, I don't care if you report us. I'm allowed to legally be here with my dog. But I can tell you something. I don't want you harassing me anymore. Like, you can pass us because you obviously got someplace to go. You're obviously upset about this, but I'm not going to continue this conversation with you. And she got all butthurt and like walked on. But
those Karens seem to follow you.
Yeah, I think I've talked
It's
about
got
it
to be
before.
annoying. Like it's happened to you quite a bit. Like it's got to be hard, dealing with that all the time. And like, boom, first like week in Grand Canyon, it's like, and I work here.
Yeah, and I probably wouldn't have gone to that length, but my heart rate was like through the roof. I was getting super anxious. She was yelling at me. Allie was like, who the fuck is this? We're literally walking down a trail where there's hundreds or thousands of feet of drop off. And I have this lady badgering me to my left where she is safe. And Allie and I could fall off a fucking cliff. So, like, I did not like the conversation. I didn't appreciate it. I tried to address it, but it's like one of those things too, where you know how like when people are upset about something and they throw out what their belief is on it and they don't back down. She wasn't backing down. I wasn't backing down at that point, but I also knew I was right. And it's one of those things that, and this happened last year at Rocky Mountain National Park when I was with Phil. I had some lady come yell at me after I had passed the park ranger and asked if that was a service dog and said, okay, cool. Have a nice day. I had some fucking lady chase me out to my car and say, hey, just so you know, next time, no dogs allowed. I'm like, you're correct, but you're slightly off. It's no pets allowed. She's a service dog. And she literally looked me up and down and said, I don't see anything wrong with you. therefore that can't be a real service dog. And Phil flew off the handle for me and basically defended me. And she's like, you have no idea what he's been through. He's a fucking combat vet. This is his service dog. You need to chill out. And immediately the husband came up, put his arm around Karen, I mean Sally, but and basically said, hey, like, we're really sorry, and walked his wife away and told her to go to the car. And he apologized. And he's like, thank you for your service. He's like, I'm really sorry. And what it comes down to is like, I was talking to someone that I'm talking to out. Well, she's technically not out here. I was talking to someone that I'm talking to. Yeah.
We'll get into that story later, Rob.
No, we're not. No girlfriend talk or like dating talk anymore for Rob on the podcast unless I'm married. Anyways,
that's coming.
I think it comes down. Yeah, I think it comes down to the fact that I have all my ligaments. Like that I look like I'm in good shape. That I'm a hiker. That I don't know. Like it's super fucked up because like people don't know what people are going through, and all of us sit here and look like we're well together, yet we have our own little issues that we deal with daily. And Allie's here for me for a possible life-saving purpose, and it's super frustrating when I go places and like for a long time I kind of wish that like when I got blown up or when I got shot at, maybe I would have got hurt to the point where I would have lost an appendix or had an injury that's visible.
Like I said, and I think most of it is because people abuse the word service dog. People bring their animals in, but oh yeah, this is a service dog, when it's really just their pet. So it's been abused so many times that like people are just standoffish about it. Whereas people like you who have the real service dog for a real reason, they still think, oh, well, it's just his pet. He doesn't really need that. Because so many people have abused it.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
And they're not only for mental health. There's a lot of problems that you can't tell. You can't tell if someone has diabetes. You can't tell if someone has a seizure disorder. I mean, you have a service dog for both of those problems.
Yeah.
And I mean, and definitely for mental health, it's definitely acceptable. That dog has a task to do if something goes wrong, and to save that person. People need to stay in their lane.
Yeah.
It's not how this road works anymore.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, and Allie's trained for seizures, and she's trained for my nightmares, as we've discussed multiple times on the podcast. So like she has a service, and 90% of the times, if I have to tell what she does, it's usually seizure related. But
if you had a seizure on a trail, Karen would probably just walk right by you.
Yeah,
he's faking it.
Get off the trail, you druggie.
Yeah. You're way too drunk to be on here.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I feel like we covered whatever we were covering there.
So that's fine.
That was
we'll move on to the next thing. Yeah, that was your weekend.
That was a very long weekend.
So yeah, we'll move on to the next thing. So the next thing I wanted to talk about that's been huge, like blown up recently, that me and Brewer both watched, was Squid Game.
Oh yeah.
And that's been like something that is insanely just super trendy right now. And I'm not going to spoil anything.
What is it? What is it?
Yeah,
for someone who hasn't.
So what it is it's a South Korean based show. And so they get these people who have like lots of debt or like owe people a lot of money, and they ask them if they want to play a game to win lots of money. But what they don't know is if they lose, they die. Like if you lose, you get shot.
What?
Yeah. It's a super weird.
It's a TV series?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
No shit.
The number one most watched like show on Netflix right now, and since like Tiger King.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great one. It's easily just you stream in one day.
Yeah. So I first watched it because I was looking for something to watch, and I was like, well, it's number one on Netflix. It has to be good, right? So I watched it, and I was like, at first I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why? And then like I couldn't stop watching it. Like
Yeah,
it's really good. Like it's really
it's slow to
it's just
start though. Just
definitely
commit to it, and then you'll
yeah.
enjoy it.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out my internet out here. I'm literally using a
Well, I mean, it's
fucking
working now.
jetpack. It's working now, but like I only get like 100 gigs a month or something like that. So
Yeah,
I'm
he
assuming
doesn't
it'll
have
get
actual
consumed.
internet. He has mobile. He's on a jetpack, so it's
Yeah,
a mobile internet.
let's go, IT guy.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting on Starlink at this point.
Yeah, laying on Elon Musk. Come on, Elon Musk. Hurry up.
Yeah, come save me, dude.
Can you still access internet with a telephone? Is that still a thing?
Wait,
What are you talking
like
about?
dial up,
Dial up, yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
yeah.
I was
plugging
like,
into your
There's
wow,
phone
dial
jack.
up. Yeah, there's dial up. There's satellite,
you
which
can get
is
like 2 megabytes per
DSL.
second.
Yeah, yeah. The nice thing is though, the park recently just upgraded all their cell phone towers in the living areas and the lodging areas. So a lot of the park that's, I guess, populated or touristed, that's not even a word, but touristy, I guess, is 5G. So I'm getting 5G at my, I almost said hotel, my apartment, and I should have
It's
it in
kind
my
of a
neighborhood.
hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's weird because they won't, my options are right now use the jetpack, which I'm using. I just added a line to my cell phone, and we were testing it earlier. What was my down? It was in between like 35 to 40 or something like that.
Yeah, and then you had no, your up was 35 to 40, I thought.
I think on the second test it was like 40 down. So like let's just take an average. Like let's just say it's about like 32 down. That's
Yeah.
bold to say. And then up on one of them was like 57 and the other it was like 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is
Well,
absurd because usually
one of them was trying to come from LA. It was
yeah,
trying
and
to
then
be in California. It's like, what?
yeah, and one was coming from Phoenix. It's just so it's either use this, which I'm gonna test out for the next like 27 days, because if I don't want it, I can return it for under 30 excuse me, under 30 days. Or my other two options are wait on Starlink, which is $100 deposit on $500 of equipment, and it'll be satellite driven by Elon Musk and his company whenever they decide to release it, according to what I was reading today and or the stuff that you were looking up too, Austin.
Mhm.
Sounds like by the end of this year they should have it, but they've also
Yeah.
been saying that since the beginning of this year. So
Who knows?
yeah,
They
so
meant to end it next year.
and then my two other options are do satellite, which is like DSL speeds, or the last option is I think it's like called HuLink or something like that. It's a company I've never heard of, and they have mandatory 2-year contracts. So I could get decent internet, like 50 down, which is more than enough than what I need because I don't really game that much. And honestly, if you're getting more than 20 megabytes, like you can do a lot of things. Like you can stream, you can have a podcast, shit like that. And I don't know if I want to sign a 2-year contract and pay for something in case I move within the next year or two, because this is all a testing ground if Rob is going to stay here forever or not. So, and I'm taking applications for girlfriends again. So hit me up on the DMs if you want, as
Don't
some of
do
you
it.
have.
It's a trap. Don't do it.
It's a trap. It's a trap. It is definitely a trap. Don't hit me up on the DMs. It's not worth it.
So, but anyways, back into the Squid Game. Something I wanted to bring up is so apparently Netflix is being sued right now by the South Korean broadband firm for a traffic surge. basically their equipment wasn't ready to handle all the surge that they're getting from everybody watching Squid Game. So they went from like averaging like 50 gigabytes a second of like traffic to 1,200 gigabytes per second in a matter of days.
That's
So
insane.
their equipment is not like, equipped to handle that much. They're like, so they were suing Netflix for all their maintenance and upgrades they had to do.
Oh, jeez. Well, Netflix would be the one to sue, I guess.
Right? I mean, if they win, I mean, it's Netflix. They're probably like, I don't care.
I heard a guy had to change his phone number too. They used a real phone number, and
it was a business. It was a business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a business phone number that they put on the actual back of the cards, and people were calling it. And he got like 3,000 calls like an hour.
That's insane.
People calling that number.
I might have to download the series and watch it on my tablet or something. Oh man.
And then I just started watching Money Heist.
Oh, I love it.
I just started watching that. I'm on like episode 8. It's pretty good.
It's good. It's good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what?
I think when COVID started, I binged the first 4 seasons of Money Heist. So I've been waiting for season 5, and it came out last week. Yeah. And I got to episode 5, and it said the next chapter will be out in December. I was like, oh,
right.
I gotta wait again.
Right. That's how they get you, though. So, but yeah, I started that, and it's pretty good.
Fuck you, Austin. Okay? Fuck you. I'm going to say it on this podcast. Fuck you, man. Seriously. I've given you like 2 or 3 really good series, and you've ignored me deliberately multiple times.
And don't watch
when
them.
I ask you for... No. Fuck you. Seriously. Have you ever seen Ozark?
Oh, that's a good one. I love it.
Yeah, 100%.
Love Ozarks.
This fucking dipshit over here. Dipshit top left. Yeah, up top left.
That guy.
I would say Ozark's one of the best.
It literally is, dude.
That's like in line with
fucking good.
Dexter,
Sopranos,
Breaking Bad,
Sopranos. Like
I never
it's
saw
up
Sopranos.
there. Okay, fair enough. Fair. But
Breaking
no,
Bad,
I agree. Like
Dexter and Ozarks. Yeah. Oh, Ozarks is good. You'll love that.
It's so good. So good.
I've never watched it.
And and this dickhead who's top left, my co-host, supposedly my heterosexual life mate, this dipshit, right over there. I'm pointing at
that
him.
One there. Oh, that one over there. That guy over there. That guy.
Like he'll get there. You go. Mike's pointing at him. There he is. Okay, everyone's pointing. I have recommended that show at least 6 times in my head, which means I probably have done it 35 times because I forgot the other 34. And he has never watched it, but he'll talk about other shows that people recommend. So fuck you, Austin.
I didn't see anybody recommended it. I just found it on Netflix.
I'm done with you. This is our final podcast. It's been fun.
I'm hoping for another season to come out. I don't know if they'll make it.
Dude, they should. They should. It's so good though. So if you haven't seen it,
I won't watch it.
People.
Nope. Don't do it.
Okay.
Manifest.
All right,
that's another new one that I watched the whole series.
I heard about that one. Like the people like disappeared or something like that, and then just show up. They've been missing for like 4 or 5 years or something.
Yeah.
That was popular on Netflix for a while.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, I recommend Squid Game definitely.
Okay. All right, I'll watch it, and then I got one for you guys if you have HBO. I really liked Lotus. Wait, what was it called?
Oh, I know the Hawaiian detective.
White Lotus. White
Lotus.
Lotus. White Lotus was really fucking good, and it's only like 6 episodes. It starts off at the end of the series, and you kind of think you know what happened, and then you're actually like shocked at the end of the series. Like it's crazy. It's really good. I actually was listening to a different podcast and they were doing spoiler alerts on it, or like spoilers on it. I was like, fuck, I need to go watch this so I can go back and listen to the podcast and see what they said about it. But strongly recommend White Lotus if you got HBO.
I won't watch that either.
I don't, you know what? Mike, would you like to start a podcast with me?
Oh.
I don't know if he could put up with you.
I don't know if he could either. I'm surprised he put up with me. Yeah.
I don't think he wants to call at wee hours of the night or day or multiple times a day just to talk to you.
Yeah. I definitely appreciate the health and welfare checks, but thank God you don't have to talk to me as much as Austin does.
Rob knows when I'm going to bed, I'm not talking. He's experienced that.
Oh, see, yep. I'm the complete opposite. If Rob calls me or texts me, I'll answer it no matter what the time is.
Unless it's like 4:30 in the morning and I'm wasted calling you.
Yeah, but I have talked to you at 5 o'clock in the morning once because you texted me like I need to talk. So I woke up and called you.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. That was the night of my birthday, I think, actually.
That was.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, we don't have to get into those details. Those are shitty memories we need to
Anyways, so next on trending news, I don't know if you've seen this, Mike, but Eminem opened up his own restaurant in Detroit called Mom's Spaghetti.
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool. pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And he actually was there and served the first 10 people. So I mean, it's a good money move.
It's a great money move. I thought it was his mom that actually opened it, though.
No, he opened it. It's just from his song.
I know that. All right, keep talking about it because I'm pretty sure his mom actually opened it.
Oh, I don't know if his mom's still alive.
She is.
He's so confident about this.
So I haven't really paid attention to him in years.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something cool that he's done recently.
Yeah.
I mean, he's from Detroit, so
8 Mile.
Yep. So he, opened it up there to give back to Detroit.
No, he actually opened it. You were correct.
Like usual.
Yeah.
But like I said, the thing I was telling Rob is I don't even want to know how long the wait was for that just to get in there. You have to wait hours and hours and hours.
They're only serving like 3 things too.
Yeah.
Like they serve like a vegan dish of like spaghetti and meatballs. They serve a regular meatball and spaghetti, and then like just meatball or something like that.
And then a spaghetti sandwich.
Yeah, something like that. Like
I would not go somewhere just for spaghetti. I mean, people are just going there for him.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, that's what I told Rob, is people aren't going there for the spaghetti. It's more just because it's Eminem's restaurant.
Right, yeah.
He's single-handedly going to bring back Detroit.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, if anybody could do it, it'd be him.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, with the amount of money he has and the amount of money he's probably making off that restaurant.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyways, go ahead.
So let's get into 2 other things, and then we're going to go into a couple of fun facts and ATI. So just because I'm positive that a lot of our listeners experience sleep issues, I was listening recently to a podcast recommended by my buddy Talon, who's a firefighter out in like Los Angeles, San Diego area. And he was telling me, dude, you got to check out this episode. And it had on the author from On Killing. I don't know if either of you have ever heard of that book or read it.
Nope.
Mike?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so the book was basically the understanding of war and how we created a generation from World War II to present day soldiers not being afraid to like fire weapons in battle and actually kill people, and how the government allowed video games to be a big part of that kind of like desensitized our generations to actually being able to kill people. Whereas in World War II, I'm not dogging on World War II Vietnam vets or anything like that, but it was common in like World War I, World War II for soldiers to just like shoot their weapon in a direction, but not actually at a person, because it was still like very, I guess, climatic to actually kill a person.
Right.
Whereas now it's
and I mean, granted, there's still those people like today in
absolutely
war.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna be one of them. My first firefight, like before I went into it, and I've talked about in the podcast, I was convinced that I was gonna be one that like curled up in a ball and was gonna be fucking scared to death. And yeah, like was not the case. However, like I've also seen people fall apart on the battlefield.
No, that's
and
just him today.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I just fall apart and do dumb shit like mobs.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I had any problem because they were shooting at me. Like,
right. Well, and especially if you
I
grow
mean, I
up
definitely
doing
saw
it.
people curl up, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I did it. I just put that stuff away and react to what's going on and think about it later. Like,
yeah. And you guys are connected to us like blood. I mean, the infantry loves their combat medics. I mean, you literally save our lives. I was talking about you before the podcast to someone that I was talking to that shall remain nameless. And
I know
anyways,
I'd hope so.
She was asking who's your guest tonight, and she's like, what's his backstory? I'm like, well, we probably won't go into great details, but like one of the cool things about him was him and I served at a similar, or actually at the same time at one point. Sorry if you guys hear Allie drinking water in the background, but
so annoying.
I know, she's so fucking cute though. She can do whatever she wants. Anyways, I know. More beer. What are you drinking over there, Mike?
One of my faves.
Guinness.
Nitro. Is that what you spilled at the beginning of the podcast?
Yeah, it is. It is.
They're pretty good.
Just a little bit.
I have a couple of those in my fridge, actually.
Oh, I love them. The nitro makes all the difference.
Yes, it does.
Nitro makes everything better.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, combat medics are an essential part of an operation for any of the combat arms when you guys are attached to any of those units that are going to receive casualties. Why are you hitting your box? Like, hell, you already ate tonight. Let's see if you guys can see this. Fuck it. What are you doing, Allie?
She's like, I'm hungry.
You already ate dinner tonight.
She says, that's what you think, Dad.
Go lay down.
She probably thinks this morning. You know how like you take like a small nap and you think you just slept like 10 hours?
I think she thinks she woke up like the next day and it's like,
yeah, exactly. Like it's like breakfast.
It's morning time, Dad.
Yeah.
Anyways, but go back into your Andy Stump.
Oh yeah. So Andy Stump had on the guy from On Killing, and he was talking about sleep is a critical aspect that's missing from both the civilian world, the military world, the police officer world, the psychology world. It's just something that's critical and needed. And one of the interesting things that I took from the podcast that I started incorporating into my life this week, since I actually have to fucking get up early and go into work, which is completely different for me, is you should not use your snooze alarm. You should actually set your alarm for the time that you have to get up at, because what you end up doing is you do more damage to your body than helpful by snoozing. You're better off just having a set time to actually get up and start your day. So like if you're setting an alarm for 7, but you got to be up at 7:30 and you're snoozing 2 or 3 times, you're getting really distorted and really broken up, like fucked up sleep, basically. So he was suggesting that you actually set your alarm for 7:30 and just fucking get up and go. And over
I
time,
still hit snooze.
yeah, but you're a lazy piece of shit. So like it's
I
okay.
know.
And you didn't watch Ozark. So like
I know.
fuck you.
No, I'm not going
We've
to
already
either.
talked. Mike, you want to start a podcast?
I agree with that
think-
though, with the sleep though. Like, just to show you an example, just because I'm afraid of waking up late, you know, I'll set up like 100 alarms, you know, like,
Jeez.
but I always wake up on the first one. But just in
That's
case, I
good.
got to keep setting it, you know, and yeah, definitely.
Yo, I have 30 set just in case.
Yeah, but if I click snooze, like I'd probably sleep through them all. You know, I agree. Like you just get up and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks you have to get up, but you get used to it and definitely feel better.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into some fun facts. I think we'll close out the podcast with my little story thing that I wanted to read earlier.
So,
okay. What do you got, Austin?
So I was watching on TikTok, and a couple fun facts that I learned about the UK that I didn't know is apparently they have doors on every single room, including the kitchen and the living room. So like here in the United States, so like we have open floor concepts, like, you know, but in the UK they don't. Like it's just one hallway with doors, and then every single room has a door.
In Germany, they had doors on quite a few things, like to go into like the living room or whatever.
Yeah, that's just weird.
It is kind of weird.
So,
all right, what else you got?
Another thing is they have their washers and dryers in their kitchen. Like they don't have laundry rooms.
Interesting.
Like
that's different than Germany,
right? It's just weird. And then, you know, like in the bathrooms and kitchens, they have 2 separate faucets, one for hot water, one for cold water.
You were in Germany, Mike, right?
No.
Okay, I'm mistaking you for another beautiful bearded person, probably.
So that's just weird. Like, how do you get warm water?
Yeah. You go to the warm sink.
They're right. So yeah, but you have 2 separate faucets, one for hot water, one for cold. So
all right.
UK's just all fucked up.
Yeah, and that is the opposite of Wyoming. They probably get like 300 days of no sunshine. Like it's so bad out there. I think like 80% of the times I've visited there, I've been out there 8 times. Because when I was living in Europe, it was always like a quick, cheap flight to go to like London or somewhere in the UK. Mm-hmm. Most of the times I went out there, it was just overcast and shitty or raining. So, yeah, I guess they need their separate options for hot water.
Well, and then here's another thing is so like their windows only open outwards, like, and they don't have screens or anything. So if you want to open a window, you can't have like a screen on your window like we do here.
Dude, yeah, that's a thing in Germany. And these June bees or June beetles, June bugs, and like big bugs and crazy critters and moths and shit would come in our house during the summer.
You sleep with them, yeah.
No, it was terrifying. I hated it.
I know, compared to like here where we have screens on every single window.
It's a necessity.
I know, it's like I said, they're just fucked up over there apparently.
It's messed up. We have a couple listeners out there that are super offended by what you're saying. I'm not saying you guys are fucked up. Remember, my fucked up co-host is saying that you're fucked up.
We're fucked up for having screens and no doors on rooms, and right.
That's okay. I mean,
yeah.
Better anyway. So
we're actually doing it wrong.
So okay, so you guys want to go into ATI now?
Let's go into ATI and then we'll close out with my little sad post.
Okay. You read the first one, Rob.
Why you gotta make me read like I'm on a fucking laptop?
We'll get over it.
Let's see if I...
You gotta do something on this podcast.
If you could hang on. If you could have one person narrate you having sex, who would it be? All right, Mike first.
Samuel Jackson.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
he's just gonna say motherfucker the whole time.
This
This
motherfucker is
motherfucker.
balls deep.
And this other
He would sell
motherfucker.
it. Like he would sell it. Like people would be interested.
He would. Who do you got?
I was gonna go with
Awesome.
like Ryan Reynolds or either that or Morgan Freeman.
I hate that we think the same because those are literally the two people that I was actually thinking as well. I would go with Ryan Reynolds because I think it'd be fucking hilarious.
Just
And his
Deadpool
new
narrating.
movie, yeah, yeah, his new movie Free Guy was actually really good. So shout out Free Guy. All right, next question. Awesome. We got
What's the worst thing you have been thrown out of a bar for, Rob?
I
I put this question on
actually
there just for you.
So I was in Miami one weekend and I went to go see one of my old GMs that was a GM at a really popular nightclub. And I may have been intoxicated because like we were drinking
Maybe.
bottle service that night. And I didn't have anything to identify that I was VIP, but I was supposed to be VIP. And I walked into the VIP area and pretty much told the bouncers to fuck off, that like I was supposed to be here, which is not the polite way to do it. I should just be like, hey, like we're supposed to be here.
As someone who's been a bouncer before, Rob, you should know this.
Yeah. I egged them on and they beat the crap out of me and my buddy Evan and threw us out the back door. And like I thought they broke my ribs. They beat the shit out of me. I was drunk and they threw my ass out the back door. And yeah, so that was probably one of my more fucked up experiences. What about you, Mike? Anything?
No.
No, you're just a good person.
I don't have any bar stories or bar fights or anything like that, really. Huh.
No.
Okay.
Not that I could think of. Not that I remember, anyway.
Right.
So, I guess I do have a funny bar story. My wife, we were at a bar together before we were dating, and she had just broken up with a guy. So I tried to move in, and she wasn't having it. But I blacked out, and the story goes, I kind of like elbowed her in the face and called her a bitch.
Oh my God.
And now you're married.
And I guess I won her over. I don't remember it, but
marry me.
That story's been told a lot. So,
oh my God, Mike.
Yeah,
that's how Rob's gonna pick up his next woman. To elbow her in the face and then ask him to marry.
Beat them into submission.
Yeah, and literally like 6 months later, we were married. So
that's the trick to longevity. What about you, Austin?
So I personally don't have anything. I was with somebody I was thrown out of the bar with him, but actually I was with a buddy and he decided that he saw a hot chick, so he was gonna go up and smack her ass. And,
oh no!
And of course, and she was with her. I don't know if it was her boyfriend or husband at the time, and so of course it didn't go over very well.
No, of course it didn't.
So we got kicked out, and that's about it.
I've never understood that. Like working at the bars, that was something that I would commonly see, like guys like trying to grab the ass of some like shooter girl or waitress, and you know, security sees that, we're fucking you up and throwing you out.
Yeah,
like that's just, it's not appropriate. Like you don't
know.
Like you can. I am all for the fact of like going up to a girl and trying to shoot your shot and like, you know, trying to pick them up, even if your game is weak or silly or stupid, whatever. But to actually
or
like,
if you
physically touch.
But if you have Allie, you know, you'll never lose.
Yeah, no, Allie has definitely helped me pick up some chicks. That's for sure. Oh man, she's definitely a good wing girl.
I know,
All
because
right.
when I was with you at the bar, we had like 4 girls come up to you because all they wanted to see is Allie.
Pretty much. Pretty much. They're like, we're not here to talk to you. We're here to talk to your cute dog.
Pretty much.
All right.
Yes. Next
Here we
one.
go.
So I got a fucked
You are
up one for you,
stranded.
Rob.
Okay, you are stranded on a desert island with your grandma. How long would it take to you to starve until you become a cannibal? All right, Austin.
That's a hard one. So, yeah. So how long do you have to starve until you eat your grandma?
That's you first. What you got?
I know. I don't know. That's hard. I'm gonna go. But I mean, you can theoretically, go 3 weeks without food.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give it like 2 weeks.
Oh, Jesus. Are you gonna knock her out, or like what are you gonna do?
I'll find a way.
Find a way, push her down something.
Yeah, break her hip.
You're no good to us anymore, Grandma. You're consumable.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Well, in my world, Grandma passed away
Oh,
while we were waiting. So, but within those 2 weeks, yeah, I definitely couldn't kill my grandmother to eat her. But yeah, if she passed away and like I was starving after a couple of weeks, I would probably resort to that.
what about you, Rob?
Yeah. I'm saying like day 2. No, just kidding.
Rob's fucked up.
No,
Funky grandma.
like
First he's gonna punch you. First he's gonna punch you for $1 million, and then he's gonna kill you and eat you.
No, honestly, like dead serious. I would
3 days.
I would try anything and everything for us to survive off of like sustainable food, like hunting, fishing, whatever possible to actually keep us alive. That way it didn't have to resort to that. And I think it would have to actually come down to her actually dying for me to even consider it, because I couldn't kill someone to help raise me. I mean, like I'm really close to one grandma. The other grandma though, definitely like 3 days.
Fuck that grandma.
No, I would probably wait it out, and if they weren't gonna make it or they died, I would consider it. All right, next question.
Would you rather have to tell your mom everything sexual you have ever done, or have to show her your entire porn history?
I think I would rather show my porn history. Yeah, I would show my porn history, I think. My porn history isn't that fucked up. Yeah. I have a thing for like I like stockings, like I like lingerie. So like I'll search like lingerie, lesbians or something like that. And I don't think that's too fucking weird, I guess. Whereas like some people like what was the one that we were talking about a few episodes ago?
I don't
It's like
remember.
milking or something like that, or maybe I was
No.
listening to a podcast on
idea.
that. But
Anyways,
yeah, what
about you,
about you,
Mike?
Mike?
I guess probably porn history, but either one would probably be boring.
Huh.
Not much to show, so.
Okay. Austin, I bet you're gonna just talk about your sex history, because I have a feeling you have searched fucked up stuff.
Oh, you know me too well, Rob.
Yes, I do.
Because that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Oh Jesus. Well, okay. I think that covers our ATI. I forgot to preface my mom to not listen to this part, but she might actually heard. By the way, Mom, if you are listening, I would not kill Grandma on our side. The other side, the grandma that we don't really like, she might make it 3 days.
3 days. He's gonna punch her for $1 million and then kill her and eat her.
Just not my mom's side. I really love that grandma. She's cool as fuck. All right, I'm going to close this out by reading my post. And then we'll talk about plugs and everything like that. So I made a post last week Sunday as I was laying in bed, and it was one of those things that I debated on posting or not. I asked my mom, I asked someone I'm talking to, and I asked April if I should post this. So I
Pretty
ended up
sure you asked
posting
me
it.
too, but okay.
I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did, but you might have been sleeping. It said, warning, sappy post. Today starts the closing of one chapter and the beginning of a new one for Allie and I. We say goodbye to Wyoming and begin our road trip move to Arizona. Wyoming was a smart move for my career growth. In parentheses, I also worked with some incredible people out here, but it took a major toll on my personal life. Leaving the military community behind in Alaska was one of the most hardest things I've ever encountered. I've never felt so alone and spent nights and days leaning on Allie, friends, and family. I've always attempted to stay busy out here with hockey and traveling all over the place to see a lot of Utah, Colorado, Montana, South Dakota, and what's NE? Nebraska, I think it is.
Nebraska.
And of course, Wyoming. Learning learning how to travel with Allie and I most of the times. I met some incredible, kind-hearted people in Wyoming, such as Kylie was there for me, and she was my friend that I needed in Riverton. She cooked me meals, watched movies with me together. I had a boss. I had a great boss named Jack. He was stellar, who helped me with work, but would also check in on my mental health outside of work and treated me like military family. The last part, I can't close out this chapter without saying a special thank you to John, April, Lindsay, Aaron, and Sheridan. They are family. They are family to me and Allie, and they adopted us out here. Many nights and days and weekends, holidays, laughs, drinks, meals, deep conversations. When the movers picked up my stuff a few weeks ago, they took Allie and I in without hesitation. I think the hardest part of today is going to be saying goodbye to them. As I'm writing this, I'm literally in tears thinking about it. I'm excited and a little scared to start my next journey. I will be working as an IT network manager in the Grand Canyon National Park. It'll be my first supervisory position within the IT and cybersecurity community. Arizona was a top 3 location for where I wanted to move and explore. We're excited and ready. Thanks for all my friends and family I acquired over the 2.4 years out here. Heart, Rob, and Allie. And I posted that, like, just kind of like getting out there. My mom's like, that's super personal. I don't know if you want to post that. I just said, fuck it, and put it out. It had over 200 likes and 59 comments on it. Like, it went berserk for Facebook because Facebook doesn't really go that crazy with stuff. So it's just interesting, and I think I got to a couple people have messaged me, a bunch of people text me, and said that was just really me talking, and I think it's cool that I brought up the mental health aspect of it and what it was like living out there, and being nervous about my next journey. So thank you to all those who reached out and talked to me about it over the past week, I guess it was, since I posted that. So yeah, I guess with that being said, Brewer, is there anything, since we didn't even say it at the beginning, that you want to plug, especially maybe your @
Yeah, so you can find me at OIF Brewer on Instagram. I like to plug Educated Beards, which is a beard oil company that I'm an ambassador for. You can find them at Educated Beards. It's run by a Canadian veteran. He was in Afghanistan, and his wife is a holistic nutritionist. So all organic, safe, natural ingredients are in the oils and balms. And
yeah, and if you could see this dude,
yeah,
or have seen him, he's a beautiful man with a beautiful beard.
You need to get to that level, Rob.
You too, Austin.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
No, dude. Before the podcast started, I'm just gonna throw Austin under the bus a little bit
It's
here.
okay.
He's got like fucking patches of shit. I'm like, dude, shave that shit before we start the podcast, please. Like, fucking grow or shave it, man.
I can't. I just can't grow it.
I didn't grow a beard until I was like 32. So maybe there's hope for you.
Maybe.
Maybe. Does your dad have a beard?
Well, no. Everybody in my house, everybody in my family is clean shaven.
Okay. You just gotta keep shaving that like patchy shit that you have there, and maybe get with Mike, and he'll teach you some things. What do you got to plug, Austin, for either Vigilant, Humble, Fight Like Hell, or anything you got going on?
Nothing right now.
Yeah. Well, your next big thing's in November, right? You're gonna help do that drive.
Yeah, we plan on doing something in November. Doing a fundraiser for Toys for Tots.
Okay, cool.
So gonna do a big raffle. Gonna get a whole bunch of companies involved. Give away some prizes to people, and then also raise money for Toys for Tots. So we're 100% of the proceeds from the raffle will go to buying toys for Toys for Tots.
That's awesome. Cool. And then myself,
Nothing.
Get on Saver 6 or Fight Like Hell, Vigilant, Humble. Yeah, we probably will plan something in October and then do something in November as well.
Yeah. Go get into his DMs, slide into Rob's DMs.
On my personal page. That way people can't fucking read it on Saver 6. Like, there was...
Do it on Saver 6, so that way I can see him, and then I'll message you back as Rob.
Yeah, there was someone that was like messaging me on there, and I'm like, you realize there's like 3 other admins that can see this shit. Like, you need to go somewhere else. So, yeah. So if you're gonna slide into my personal, yeah. But that's it. And Mike, thank you for coming on impromptu and helping us out. It's really good to see your beautiful face. We appreciate you.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on. It's been awesome.
Yeah,
maybe this
stick around for
YouTube.
Yeah, this should go on YouTube. Yeah, you'll finally get your video version of a podcast. But unless you guys got anything else, I'm gonna wrap us up and close us out.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on the Fight Like Hell podcast. We missed you guys last week. We will try to be here every week for you, except for when Austin goes on his vacation in December.
Oh, that's not happening.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of sucks, but at the same time, that's good for our listeners.
All the COVID bullshit. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what that means. That gives you a good reason to come out.
I'm not coming out
the Grand Canyon. Okay, whatever. Mike will come out and see me.
You have too many girls coming out to see you. I don't want to come see you.
No, I don't. I have Allie. That's it. I'm alone out here. I'm alone.
For now.
Alone. For now. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Please go rate, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, write us a review, whatever you
unfollow
can do.
Rob.
Please don't do that. That's offensive. Yeah, thank you. This was episode 34, Fight Like Hell. Mike, stick around. We're going to take a picture. We love you guys, and peace.